C poses. Camel pose or Ustrasana. You're going to start this one up on your knees. Tuck your feet under on the mat for stability. Place the palm of your hands on your lower back and press your hips forward. This is a modified camel pose, so if this feels comfortable for you here, go ahead and stay here. If you need more, you can reach your arms behind you to your heels. Press your hips forward and your head comes back as a straight extension from your spine. To come out of this, you put your hands back to your lower back and press up and sit down on your mat. Cat pose, Majari Asana. Come to tabletop pose. Your legs should be hip distance apart and your wrists directly under the shoulders. You're going to exhale as you tilt your pelvis under, pull your belly into your spine and look down. Inhale back to a neutral spine. Exhale to arch your spine. Pull that lower belly in. Inhale back to a neutral spine. And exhale as you arch that spine. Inhale back to a neutral spine. Cow pose, Vithalasana. Come back to tabletop pose. Your legs are hip distance apart and your wrists directly under your shoulders. You're going to inhale as you drop your belly to the mat and gaze up. Exhale back to a neutral spine. Inhale as your tailbone lifts, gaze up. Exhale back to a neutral spine. And inhale, belly drops. Exhale back to a neutral spine. These two poses are often combined together, making cat and cow pose. So you're going to go back to tabletop pose here. We're going to inhale to go to cow pose. Exhale to go to cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up. Exhale, pull your spine up, round your spine, look down. Inhale, drop your belly. And exhale to round that spine. Chair pose or Utkatasana. Your feet are going to be hip distance apart. Press your heels down into the mat. I like to lift my toes here just to make sure the weight is distributed into my heels. You're going to sit back into your hips. Your palms can be face up or down. As you drop down, make sure your knees do not go over your toes, so you're really pushing back. Engage your core. Your spine should be straight here. If you want to take it to the full chair pose, you can place your palms together as you reach your hands up above your head. Child pose or Balasana. You're going to scoot your hips back. You can have your legs wider here if you want more of a hip stretch or together. Your sit bones come back to your heels as you reach your hands forward and drop your head to the mat. For a more relaxing child pose, you can always bring your arms to the sides of your body, palms face up here. And then come back up. Cobra pose or Bhujanga Asana. You're going to come down to your belly. The tops of your feet push into the mat. Push your pelvis down into the mat. This helps protect your lower back. Bring your hands directly under your armpits and inhale as you press up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale as you press up. Keep your spine long and your chest open. Exhale down. And then come back up to your mat. Cow face pose or Gomukhasana. You're going to bring your right leg over by your hip. Bring your left leg on top so your knees are directly stacked over each other. Your feet should be equal lengths apart here and sit evenly into your sit bones. Bring your arm up and back, and your left arm goes back and down. And if you can reach your fingers, you can clasp them together. If you can't, you can use a band or a strap, or even just hold on to your shirt here. An easier way for me to get into this pose is to come to tabletop pose. Bring your leg up and place it back, wrap it around behind your knee, and then you can sit back onto your sit bones. So your knees are stacked right here, and then you can bring your arm back up and your left arm back around and down. Crescent lunge pose or Anjaneyasana. Reach your arms up to the sky and take a big step backward. Your chest is going to be open here as you lunge into that front knee. It should be directly over your ankle. And look up. Tailbone points down here, and it'll give you a nice stretch through your hip flexor. Chaturanga Dandasana. My shoulders are pretty sore, so I did a modification for this one. You can do it regular. You can come up to a plank pose and then go down that way. If you need a modification, you can just drop your knees down to the mat. So engage your core here. You're going to bring your elbows in as you lower halfway down to the mat.